it's Chantel and welcome back to another reading vlog. I'm excited about this week because even though we are still in the middle of middle grade March, I've decided to take a little bit of a break without, I might still read some middle grade books, but I'm going to take the pressure off of myself to just read middle grade books, which wasn't really even on me before because I was reading non-middle grade books, but I'm just kind of like feeling slightly over them, so I'm going to intentionally read a few other kinds of books this week. But first of all, what I read on the weekend, I finished Magic. This is a middle grade fantasy book, and overall I really enjoyed it. I thought that the author put a lot of thought into like the different spells and stuff that she made. You know, if at one point when someone had a invisible kind of charm on and someone else had a separate invisible charm that wasn't the same one, they couldn't see each other, but if you had the same one, then you could see each other. And I appreciated like those kind of like attention to detail. And I also appreciate that this book has girl wizards. Not that like wizards are usually boys, and I get that, but in something like Harry Potter, it bothers me that a witch is the female version of a wizard, because pretty much in all other books, wizards are like a good character and witches are usually a negative character. So this book has male and female wizards, and then witches are something completely different. And in this book, they're not necessarily bad different, but they're different. So yeah, that was just a little different than maybe like the normal fantasy book. And I appreciated that. And this is a part of a series. I don't know how many books are in the series, but I am going to continue to keep my eye out at thrift stores for the next books. There was a few parts in here where I felt like things got like a little gray with the magic. Like it did talk a lot about like dark magic because like the bad guy, but then there were some times where there was a little bit of dark magic mixed with like good magic. That I wish that wasn't in here. This isn't like something I would suggest to my kids as like the first middle grade fantasy book they read, but once they get farther in and we can kind of like discuss these things, I'm okay with them reading this book. And then after I finished that, I was going to start Harry Potter book 7, but I kind of needed a little bit of a palate cleanser between one fantasy book and another, so I read Sharon Creech's Ruby Holler. In this book we follow boy and girl twins who have been kind of like living in a group home for pretty much the 13 years of their life, with a few bad cases where they've tried to they've been adopted kind of, but then they've been returned, and they live in this terrible group home run by this terrible couple. And this one summer they kind of like are sent away to live with this older couple for the summer, who are just so kind and patient and understanding. And as a foster parent myself, I just feel like these people were really good role models, and I wish I had the patience that they have. My daughter read this book a couple months ago. She really enjoyed it, and then when it came to the ending, she didn't really like the ending. It's kind of left a little like open at the end, and I mean there's benefits to that and negatives, but I enjoyed the book. I really enjoy Sharon Creech's writing and want to continue reading her stuff. So after I had read that, kind of had like my fantasy palette cleanser, I did start Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I am like a sixth of the way through it. I'm just over 100 pages in out of just over 600. This one was not one of the cards that I chose for my TBR for the month, but it was one that I chose because it is over 500 pages and because I want to just finish the series. To be honest, so far I'm just kind of like feeling meh about this book, so I would like to finish it this month, but I'm not going to like pressure myself into finishing it. I'm going to take the time that I need before I like push myself to read something I'm not enjoying. And then also, speaking of like kind of that, I had also picked out Furthermore to read this month. I had chosen one of the TBR cards that I had chosen was a one-word title, and I originally chose Magic for that prompt, but then I also decided to make 2 books for that prompt. So then I also chose Furthermore. And I'm just kind of feeling like over fantasy right now, because that's what most of my books were this month. And prior to like 9 months ago, I had never read fantasy before. So I'm just kind of like in fantasy overload. So I might not actually get to this book this month. I might just put it back on my cart and try it again a different month. We'll see. But one thing I did want to read, I pulled this off of my cart, and it is an Agatha Christie book. Now, it is called Hickory Dickory Dock, but I also have another copy, an older copy, where it is called Hickory Dickory Death. So this is the original title, and this is the new title. And I haven't researched why they changed the title of the book. I was scared to research it until I'm done reading it, because I don't want to like spoil anything. But as far as I can tell from like the first page and stuff, everything is the same. I think it's just a title change. And I'm like 70 pages in. This is another Poirot mystery of hers, and we are following, I guess there's like this, what would be the correct terminology? Back in the day, it was like a, kind of like a hotel or like a B&B where a bunch of students live and things are starting to disappear and they don't make sense. And so Hercule Poirot gets involved, and yeah, we'll see what happens from there. She always, like sets up a big cast of characters, and then you have to figure out like who done it. And I always have a hard time keeping track of like who's who in her books, but I always enjoy reading them. And I'm really excited that this book is so small, because I've read a lot of big books this month already. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this, and kind of like intentionally, unintentionally, it is March Mystery Madness, which is like a readathon that is going on throughout the whole month. So I guess I can read this as part of that. They do have, I think this is like their 5th year doing it. This is only the first year that I've heard of it, because it's really the first year that I've been on BookTube. But there are a number of different challenges. One was like read 5 mystery books, or maybe that's the overall challenge. And then there's like read books with pages divisible by 5, published in a year that ends in a 5, I think, or something like that. And with the number 5 in the title. So I did look, this copy has 190 pages, which is divisible by 5. And they were originally published in 1955. So I kind of fit 2 of the challenges just that way. If I would have saved my 5 Little Pigs that I read last month of hers for this month, that also would have had 5 in the title. Could have checked off one that way. Yeah, so I also think I'm potentially going to make an unofficial challenge for myself to read one of her books a month. My cat always does weird things when I'm doing videos. Yeah, so I want to read one of her books a month, I think maybe for like the rest of the year, because I probably have maybe 8-ish that I own that I haven't read yet, and I always keep an eye out for more of her books when I'm out thrifting and stuff. Except, when's the next time I'm going to be thrifting? I have no idea. But I would like to, read some of her books, more of her books that I own already. So yeah, I'm going to read this, potentially this, and then I don't know where I'm gonna go from there. Kind of see what I'm in the mood for the rest of the month, I think. So yeah, I will chat with you in a day or 2. Hey guys, just a little reading update. I totally did finish Hickory Dickory Dock on Tuesday. So I read this was it Tuesday? Was it Monday? Monday, I think, actually. I read it in less than 24 hours. It's just a quick little Agatha Christie, and it was a really good palate cleanser after so much middle grade this last, few weeks. And I've also been thinking, like, I really enjoy mystery books. but I don't enjoy ones that are too graphic, or yeah, I enjoy ones that I kind of can follow along and try to figure out like who done it, and I feel like Agatha Christie does a really good job with that. This one especially, I feel like Hercule Poirot kind of let us into his mind a little bit more than he normally does, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm looking for more mystery suggestions. If you have, especially like a series where, you know, there's multiple books that I can kind of go through, I would love to hear them. Other than this one, I like the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, and then I read all of Sherlock Holmes and really like those, especially the short stories. But yeah, I'm looking for some more good mysteries. So if you have someone to recommend, that'd be great. So yeah, I finished that one, and then what I did start right after that was, let me just show you the actual cover. It is Olivia Twist. Now, I originally came across this one on Scribd. I started listening to the audio and was really enjoying it, and then I found it on Book Depository, on Book Outlet back in like December, January or something, so I ordered it. And I'm probably like 2/3 of the way through it right now. It is obviously like a remake of Oliver Twist, but if Oliver Twist had been a girl and raised as a boy until like kind of like the preteen years where her life changed. So this is Olivia Twist, and yeah, so she was raised as Oliver Twist, and at one point in her life she kind of came across this like benefactor person who found out she was actually a girl and decided to raise her as a girl, as she was. And she kind of is probably in her late teens in this book and is kind of coming across some people from her past. And yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting idea. I like remakes of books, you know, and fairy tale retellings and stuff like that. When I did buy the book though, I thought, because it is the Blink publisher, I thought that it would be a Christian book, and so far there is nothing in here to indicate Christian or otherwise. So maybe that was just a misunderstanding on my part. I don't actually know. Blink is like a young adult version of another publishing company that I can't think of right now, and I thought it was a Christian publisher, but I could be wrong. So yeah, this one is like, you know, like a light, fun read. It's been a quick read and fairly enjoyable. I mean, I think it's going to be quite predictable though. There is like a little bit of a romance going on here, and I don't know, if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know that me and romance just, I don't know, don't really get along, because I just always feel like they're so predictable. And yeah, but this one has a few interesting twists and turns that I've been enjoying. And then also, I am actually slowly reading Harry Potter. I decided to read about 100 pages a day, which, like, you know, normally is quite a bit, but when you're in the middle of self-isolating, really doesn't take that long to read 100 pages. So the first little bit of the book, things were kind of happening and exciting, and then we spent like 150 pages just wandering around. Probably about 150 pages, a good long time. And it was like, oh, I hope this isn't the entire book. I was kind of used to like Harry Potter being the school setting, and this one is not. So yeah, where I'm at now, I'm just over 300 pages in, so like about halfway. Things are finally getting exciting, and so yeah, the next few days I should finish this, and hopefully it continues to be interesting. Okay, I'm going to try to attempt to finish what I was trying to say before. The little guy is just not napping today. You know, 15 minutes, that's all you need. So he's gonna be hanging out over here and hopefully not making too much noise. So after I finish Olivia Twist, ooh, he's driving his car. I have a couple books that I'm thinking about picking up. going back to middle grade, with it being kind of the end of middle grade March, there are 4 books from my library stack that I'm quite interested in reading and wanting to finish for this month. So I have Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales. This is the second book in the Pages & Co. series. Oh, did you lose your car? Oh, there you go. And then I have Snow and Rose. I think this is like a Snow White, Red Riding Hood kind of story. Then we've got Sweep, which is the story of a girl and her monster. And York, which is a middle grade steampunk book. Yeah, watch out, buddy. Let's not shake that. So really, like, these 2 are the most interesting to me. I've heard so many good things about Sweep, but I read Jonathan Auxier's Peter Nimble and His Fantastic Eyes or something like that, and that book was weird. It was like really weird. So I'm kind of hesitant to read this one, but I've heard so many good things about it that, yeah, I'm not sure. And then this one is by far like more interesting sounding to me, with it being steampunk and then middle grade. And it looks like it is book 1 out of a series. Oh, you dropped your car. So I'm kind of like between these 2. I'm thinking maybe, since Sweep is quite a bit thinner, that I will do this one first, and then once I finish it, then pick up York. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. So I'll do Olivia Twist, and then Harry Potter, and then Sweep, and York. That is my current plan. Things may change. Uh-oh, you dropped your car again. Yeah. So I should just start reading. What's that? So of course today is Saturday and I'm finally finishing up this reading vlog, which I'm supposed to do on Fridays, but we ended up getting another little foster baby yesterday who is 6 months old, and it's been 10 years since I had a baby that young, and I've only done that stage once, whereas like the toddler years I've done a number of times, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit dazed and confused here, also extremely exhausted. The first 24 hours is always the hardest with a new placement, but I'm finding this one especially so because I don't remember how to handle this age or like what to do. And I realized we don't really have any of the stuff for little babies. So yeah, I did 0 reading yesterday, which was Friday. But on Thursday I did end up finishing Olivia Twist. I quite enjoyed the ending of this book, and just kind of like the book as a whole. It wasn't what I expected going into it, because I did think that it was a Christian book, or like would have some Christian themes, and it really didn't. So I guess it was just not quite what I was expecting. But there was a number of twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, and they were kind of nice. The ending was a little predictable, but you know, in seasons like the one that we're kind of going through here, where life is just weird and unpredictable, a slightly predictable book is nice. I don't mind reading them sometimes. So yeah, I finished that, and then I am still reading Harry Potter. I had wanted to finish this yesterday, but I didn't read anything at all. I was trying to do like 100 pages a day this last week, and Thursday I only read like 40 pages, and then Friday I read none, so I still have like 150 pages left in the book. So far, like, it has spurts where things are like happening and it's interesting, but there are just like so many sections of just everyone kind of not having a purpose, and literally there was like 150 pages of them just wandering around. And I feel like as the last book in a series, I was expecting more from it. So we'll see how the ending goes. I mean, there's a lot that is supposed to happen here yet. So I'm curious to see how that goes. So if I am able to read it all this weekend, this is going to be my priority, to finish this one. And then I was also planning on picking up Sweep, but I think I'll just kind of like focus on one book at a time right now. I've kind of had like a near constant headache for the last 2 weeks, which has also made it hard to use my brain and be able to read or like film a video. And with, you know, new baby and sleep deprivation, I can only handle one book at a time right now. So I will just focus on this book, and then like hopefully we'll be able to get like sleeping schedules figured out, and I don't have babies sleeping on opposite schedules here, because we have a 6-month-old now and an 18-month-old, and one is doing 2 to 3 naps a day. I'm not really sure what she's doing, and the other guy is doing 1 nap a day, and I'm just like hoping that they can at least line up for like an hour, and then my big kids can just do something quiet for that hour. That would be the ideal. So yeah, I didn't read a ton this week, but I read, and I have plans for next week on what I would like to read. I would like to read Sweep. I would like to read York to finish out Middle Grade March. And then I guess I need to pick my April TBR here right away, because I've got so many books on my TBR cart that I want to get to. So yeah, that's kind of where my week was and where I kind of hope to go in the next few days. So as always, I would love to hear what you guys have been reading, any suggestions, especially for April coming up, and if you have any tips on 6-month-old babies, send them my way. Thanks for watching, guys.